I never imagined my picture-perfect suburban life would explode in the middle of a fluorescent-lit community hall. But there I sat at a cheap folding table that smelled like stale coffee and broken dreams. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. I tucked them under my thighs, but the shaking just traveled up my arms. Nothing helped anymore. Not the lukewarm water someone shoved at me. Not the sympathetic nods from a few neighbors who still remembered my name. Karen Whitmore. Yes, the same Karen who'd organized every block party and welcomed me with a basket of HOA-approved muffins 3 years ago, perched on the raised platform like a queen on a throne made of laminated rulebooks. Her reading glasses sat low on her nose as she shuffled papers that might as well have been my eviction notice. My attorney, Benjamin Wright, sat beside me, shoulders rigid, jaw locked so tight I could hear his teeth grinding. That was how I knew we were screwed. Royally. Across the aisle, Karen's favorite lapdog, Vincent Palmer, the HOA's compliance consultant who billed the association $500 an hour, leaned back in his chair with the smug confidence of a man who'd already counted the commission on my house. And right next to him sat Gregory, my soon-to-be ex-husband, still wearing the Navy suit I'd helped pick out for his last promotion. He caught my eye and gave me that smile. Not warm, not sorry. The cold, satisfied smirk of someone who'd already won. Karen cleared her throat with the drama of a soap opera villain. Based on the evidence compiled over the last 3 months, this board has grave concerns about MS. Emily Harper's ability to maintain a stable, rule-compliant environment for the minor child. Hannah Harper. Each word landed like a slap. I gripped the table edge until my knuckles went white. Therefore, she continued, voice dripping fake compassion. We are prepared to approve the immediate enforcement of cumulative fines totaling $47,892. Place a lien on the property and initiate foreclosure proceedings unless MS. Harper voluntarily transfers title to the association for fair market value compensation, minus all outstanding violations. Of course. She smiled like she'd just offer me cookies. The room didn't gasp. They'd been trained not to, but I felt the air leave my lungs. They weren't just fining me. They were taking my house, my daughter's home, the only thing I had left after Gregory filed for divorce and cleaned out our accounts. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself again. You need the full tea on how sweet little Karen went full tyrant and turned our cookie-cutter cul-de-sac into her personal kingdom of terror. 3 months earlier, I come home from the grocery store on a perfect Tuesday evening. Tuesdays were always grocery day, same route, same list, same chicken parmesan recipe Gregory and Hannah both loved. I balanced 3 reusable bags, HOA approved. Naturally, no plastic allowed, and called out, I'm home. Someone want to help before the ice cream melts? Silence. Gregory's car sat in the driveway. Hannah should have been doing homework in the breakfast nook. I dropped the bags on the granite island and walked into the living room. Karen stood by the window, back to me, arms crossed like she owned the view. Something about her posture made my stomach twist. Karen? Everything okay? Is Hannah? She turned slowly. Her face was pure ice. Emily, darling, we need to talk. Those 4 words. The HOA version of it's not you. It's the rules. I set my purse down. Okay, what's going on? Did Hannah leave her bike out again? I swear I told her. She reached into her designer tote and pulled out a thick manila folder stamped with the HOA logo in gold foil. She extended it like she was handing me a death sentence wrapped in bureaucracy. These are formal violation notices. 17 of them. I want you to read them carefully. You'll need legal representation. Effective immediately. I stared at the stack, brain refusing to process. Karen, we're friends. You helped me plant those petunias last spring. What is this? She didn't blink. The board has received multiple complaints, anonymous. Of course, about your unstable emotional state, reckless spending on non-compliant landscaping, and the creation of an unsafe environment for Hannah. We're concerned. Emily. Deeply concerned. Gregory agrees. Gregory. My husband. Standing right behind her now. Suitcase already packed by the door. He'd known. He'd helped. I want out, he said flatly. And the board agrees the house should go to someone who actually follows the rules. You'll hear from Vincent soon. He walked out. 8 years of marriage. 1 daughter. 1 mortgage. And he left without explaining why. I stood there holding the folder while Karen patted my shoulder with the gentleness of a shark smelling blood. Take care of yourself. Sweetie. We're only trying to protect property values. That was the beginning. The next days blurred into underwater panic. Gregory ghosted my calls. When I picked Hannah up from school, she ran to me sobbing. Daddy said we're moving, and it's because you broke the rules. What do you tell a 9-year-old when the grown-ups have lost their minds? I tried this sometimes adults need space lie. She cried herself to sleep for a week. I cried after she did, so she wouldn't hear. 2 weeks later, another knock. Vincent Palmer himself served me the thick envelope. Inside, a formal demand for $12,000 in immediate fines, plus a professional community wellness evaluation by Dr. Caroline Fletcher, Karen's best friend from college. Apparently a licensed HOA compliant psychologist. None of it made sense. I was the mom who volunteered for every bake sale, kept the lawn at exactly 2.75 inches I measured weekly. Never once flew an American flag on a non-approved pole. But suddenly I was emotionally unstable, financially irresponsible, and creating a chaotic home environment. I called every attorney until Benjamin Wright squeezed me in. He read the papers, face growing grimmer with every page. Mrs. Harper, this isn't just fines. Karen has built a case to force the sale of your home. She claims she has expert testimony, neighbor statements, and documentation going back 14 months. This is a full-scale HOA coup. But it's all lies, I whispered. He nodded. Exactly. And we need to figure out why, fast. That night, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the folder, while Hannah played quietly with her cracked old tablet in the corner. The one with the broken screen that still somehow recorded video if you knew the trick. I had no idea then how that little device would save both our lives. The bank called next. Mrs. Harper, there have been multiple large withdrawals from the joint account over the past 4 months. Balance is now $412. Gregory had been siphoning money while kissing me goodnight and telling Hannah he loved her. All while Karen and Vincent prepped their paperwork. I borrowed $3,000 from my elderly mother, her entire savings, and fell behind on utilities. Meanwhile, Karen posted on the neighborhood Facebook group, just a friendly reminder that we all want what's best for property values. Some residents are struggling to keep up. Let's show compassion while enforcing standards red hard. Compassion with a side of foreclosure. The first HOA hearing was a circus. Karen sat at the head table in a pastel blazer that probably cost more than my mortgage payment. Vincent presented evidence, photoshopped credit card statements showing I'd bought luxury items, actually gifts Gregory insisted on, bank records twisted to look like reckless spending, and Dr. Fletcher's evaluation. I'd never met the woman. Yet her report claimed I suffered from severe anxiety and depressive episodes impairing parental judgment and lawn maintenance compliance. She quoted sessions that never happened, dates I was supposedly too unstable to attend board meetings. When Benjamin cross-examined her, she gave the saddest smile. Patients in denial often suppress memories of therapy. It's common. The board ate it up. Karen nodded solemnly. We're only protecting the children and the community. Gregory testified next, voice dripping concern. I tried to help Emily. Suggested therapy. Offered to take over more responsibilities. She refused. I documented everything because I feared for Hannah's safety. He pulled out a thick leather journal, 14 months of observations. Every late school pickup because my car broke down. Every Saturday, I stayed in bed with the flu. Every frustrated sigh when the HOA sent another $250 fine for visible weeds, all twisted into proof I was a neglectful, unstable mess. The board voted to impose another $8,000 in fines and schedule a final hearing to decide on for sale. I left that meeting numb. Hannah met me at the car, eyes wide. "Mommy, why is Miss Karen mad at you?" I lied. "It's just grown-up stuff, baby." But that night, she crawled in my bed. I heard Miss Karen on the phone with Daddy once. She said something about taking the house and shipping you off to boarding school. I don't want to go to boarding school. My blood ran cold. 2 weeks later, during my supervised community service hours, yes, they made me do that. Hannah pulled the old tablet from her backpack. "Mommy, the camera still works. I've been recording when Miss Karen comes over pretending to check the lawn. She brings a man. They kiss. They talk about you. They laugh. 3 videos. Saved." I drove straight to Benjamin's office. He watched the first clip on mute, eyes widening. This could change everything, but we have to be careful. Child recorded evidence. Admissibility issues. The final hearing was set for the next morning. Karen had already announced on the group chat, "Tomorrow we vote on the Harper property. Pray for our community." I barely slept. Hannah snuggled against me. "I'm scared, Mommy, but I know you're a good mom. I see things." The morning of the hearing, the hall was packed. Karen wore her victory pearls. Vincent looked bored. Gregory sat front row, ready to collect his share of the spoils. Karen called the meeting to order. "We've heard enough testimony. Unless there are final objections, we'll vote on the motion to foreclose and transfer title." Benjamin stood. "Madam President, new evidence has come to light." Karen cut him off with a sweet smile. "Mister, right? We've been more than patient. The board is ready to rule." My stomach dropped. We were out of time. Then the double doors slammed open. Hannah sprinted down the aisle, old tablet clutched in both hands, face flushed but determined. "You have to see this. Miss Karen and the doctor lady are lying about my mommy." The room froze. Karen's face went sheet white. Dr. Fletcher, sitting in the back, stood so fast her chair toppled. A bailiff moved to grab Hannah. But the board chair, actually a retired judge who oversaw HOA disputes, held up her hand. "Young lady, approach the table. Everyone else, sit down." Hannah's voice shook but didn't break. "I recorded them. They didn't know. My tablet looks broken, but the camera works. They were at our house talking about the lies and the trial and how they're going to take our home." Vincent jumped up. "This is highly irregular. A child cannot interrupt official proceedings with potentially illegal recordings." Benjamin countered instantly. "If this child has proof of fraud and conspiracy committed against this board and my client, the association has a duty to review it." The chair looked at Karen, then at Hannah, then at the terrified Dr. Fletcher trying to edge toward the exit. "Bailiff, connect that tablet to the projector. Let's all see what's on there." It took 3 agonizing minutes. The ancient tablet finally linked. 3 video files. The chair clicked the first one. The shaky footage showed my living room 6 weeks ago. Karen walked in first, laughing. Then Dr. Fletcher followed. They sat on my couch, like they owned it. Karen leaned over and kissed her. Not a friendly peck. A full-on, "I've done this 1,000 times" kiss. Gasps rippled through the hall. Karen's hand flew to her mouth. When they broke apart, Dr. Fletcher snuggled against her. "I can't believe we've been sneaking around for almost a year. Your husband still thinks you're just helping the community." Karen laughed, the same laugh she used at block parties. "Gregory's too busy draining the bank accounts to notice. Emily's so trusting. She actually believed every excuse I gave about late-night board meetings." The video kept rolling. They talked about the fake evaluation report Dr. Fletcher wrote without ever meeting me. The board eats up expert testimony. Nobody questions credentials. They bragged about the journal. Karen had been writing it herself for 14 months. Inventing incidents. Twisting real ones. That time she was late picking up Hannah because her car broke down? In my journal, it's because she forgot her own child. Classic neglect narrative. They high-fived over the fake text messages Vincent had discovered, software that spoofed my number to make it look like I was hiding money and having an affair. And then the kicker, Karen traced a finger down Dr. Fletcher's arm. Once we get the house, we flip it for double what we're offering her. Gregory gets his cut. We get rich. And Emily ends up broke, homeless, and discredited. Hannah goes to boarding school. Perfect. Dr. Fletcher giggled. You're ruthless, babe. That's why I love you. The video ended. Dead silence. Karen's face had gone from white to purple. Dr. Fletcher was openly crying. Gregory looked like he might vomit. The chair's voice was ice. Bailiff. Detain MS. Whitmore and Dr. Fletcher. Do not let them leave. Police are already en route. I called them the moment this started. Karen tried to run. The bailiff was faster. Handcuffs clicked. Dr. Fletcher collapsed into a chair sobbing. She convinced me. She said it would be fine. She said Emily was actually unstable. The chair cut her off. You both committed perjury, fraud, and conspiracy in front of this entire association. Save the tears for the district attorney. She turned to Hannah, voice softening. Young lady, you are the bravest resident I have ever seen in 30 years of HOA disputes. What you did today may have saved your mother's home and her reputation. Hannah ran to me. I scooped her up, holding her so tight we both shook. You saved us. Baby, you saved us. Police arrived within minutes. Karen and Dr. Fletcher were let out in cuffs while the entire neighborhood watched. Gregory tried to slip away, but Vincent blocked him. Apparently, even he had limits. The chair banged her gavel. Motion to foreclose is dismissed with prejudice. All fines against MS. Harper are voided. The association will immediately unfreeze her accounts and issue a formal apology letter to every resident. Further, I am referring both MS. Whitmore and Dr. Fletcher to the district attorney for criminal charges, fraud, perjury, conspiracy, theft by deception, and whatever else sticks. She looked at me. MS. Harper, this board owes you an apology. We were deceived. You may stay in your home. The association will cover your legal fees and any emotional damages the court awards. The story exploded. Local news called it daughter's secret tablet takes down HOA tyrant. Reporters camped outside. I turned most away, but the viral clip of Hannah marching down the aisle with her cracked tablet became meme gold. Over the next months, the criminal trials unfolded. The prosecution played the videos in open court. They brought in tech experts who proved the fake texts and doctored bank records. Co-workers of Karen testified she'd bragged at happy hour about gaming the HOA system to flip houses for profit. One bartender remembered her drunk, laughing about how stupid Emily trusted everyone. Karen's defense tried everything. The recordings were illegal. The judge laughed. A child recording in her own home? Try again. They claimed temporary insanity. The video showed Karen calm, calculating, kissing her girlfriend while planning my destruction. That argument died fast. Dr. Fletcher's trial was worse. The psychology board stripped her license on day one. Former patients testified she'd been distracted and unethical for months. The video of her laughing about writing a completely fabricated report sealed it. Both were convicted. Sentencing day was pure poetry. Karen got 6 years. The judge, same retired judge who'd overseen the HOA hearing, gave a blistering speech. You didn't just break rules. You weaponized an entire community's trust to destroy a mother and steal her home. For profit. For power. Shame on you. Dr. Fletcher got 5 years plus permanent revocation of her license and $100,000 in restitution to me. Gregory pled guilty to theft and got 3 years plus full repayment of every penny he'd stolen, plus $200,000 damages. He tried writing Hannah letters from prison. She read one, then shredded the rest. "He's not my daddy anymore," she said quietly. The HOA was forced to reform. New board elections. New rules. No more anonymous complaints. No fines over $500 without a hearing. And a resident bill of rights. Karen's mansion, the one she planned to buy my house to expand, was auctioned to pay her fines. A lovely young couple with 2 kids and 0 HOA ambitions moved in. I used the restitution money to expand my small catering business. I rented a commercial kitchen, hired 2 assistants, and eventually opened Hannah's Table, a cozy cafe named after the girl who saved us both. The grand opening was packed. Neighbors who'd once whispered about me now brought flowers and apologies. I accepted the flowers. The apologies I accepted with a smile, then forgot their names. Life settled into something better than before. We moved to a slightly bigger house on the same street, same neighborhood, different energy. Hannah joined art club, made real friends, and stopped flinching every time someone mentioned rules. 1 year later, on a perfect Tuesday evening, Hannah and I sat on the porch swing watching the sunset. She still kept the cracked tablet on her nightstand like a trophy. "Mommy," she asked, "are you happy now?" I thought about the courtroom, the handcuffs, the viral video, the new cafe, the fact that Karen's mugshot was still the top result when you Googled our neighborhood. "Yes, baby, I really am. We went through hell, but we came out stronger. And we have each other." She grinned. "Best team ever." I hugged her tight. The absolute best. That night, I tucked her in, kissed her forehead, and stood in the doorway watching her sleep peacefully, tablet glowing softly beside her bed. We'd survived betrayal, lies, and the most ridiculous power trip suburbia could invent. We hadn't just kept our house, we'd kept our dignity, our laughter, and our future. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight we were safe, loved, and finally free. And that, dear neighbors, was more than enough. But wait, there's one more delicious layer of karma I haven't told you yet. 6 months after the trials, the state attorney general opened an investigation into the entire HOA system in our county. Turns out Karen wasn't the only president playing this game. Dozens of neighborhoods had similar compliance consultants and wellness experts on payroll, all quietly skimming equity from single moms and retirees. The scandal made national news. HOA cartel exposed trended for weeks. Vincent Palmer lost his license. The state bar found he'd knowingly used falsified evidence. He now sells real estate in another state under a different name, probably still charging $500 an hour for consultations. My cafe became the unofficial meeting spot for the new reform movement. Every Thursday night, a group of us, former victims turned activists, gather for coffee and strategy sessions. We've helped 3 other families fight bogus foreclosures. Hannah comes sometimes and tells her story. The kids listen wide-eyed. If grown-ups are doing bad things, she always says, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to record the truth. The old tablet still sits on her nightstand. Screen cracked, but camera ready. We never fixed it. It's our reminder that the smallest voice, the simplest tool, can topple empires built on lies and lawn measurements. Gregory tried for early parole last month. The board denied it after Hannah submitted a victim impact statement. She wrote it herself in purple marker. He chose money over me and mommy. He doesn't get to come home until he understands that. She sealed the envelope with a smile. As for Karen and Dr. Fletcher, last I heard, they're cellmates in the same facility. Apparently, they requested to be housed together for emotional support. The prison denied it. Something about conflict of interest. I like to imagine them sharing a cell, replaying that video on the prison TV every night, watching their perfect plan crumble because a 9-year-old with a broken tablet refused to stay silent. Sometimes, when a neighborhood is quiet and the new board is busy planting community gardens instead of planting evidence, I walk past Karen's old mansion. The new owners put up a giant rainbow flag, completely non-compliant under the old rules, and planted wildflowers that grow exactly how they want. I smile every single time, because that's the real victory. Not just keeping my house, not just the money, not even the prison sentences. The real victory is watching the tyrants who spent years measuring grass blades and judging welcome mats finally learn that the neighborhood doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the people who actually live here. And the next time some new Karen shows up with a clipboard and a fake smile, we'll be ready. We got videos. We've got each other. And we've got proof that even the pettiest rules can't stop the truth when a brave kid decides to hit record. So if you're sitting in your own HOA meeting right now, feeling that familiar dread as the president smiles and says, "We need to talk," remember Emily and Hannah. Keep your tablet charged. And never, ever underestimate the power of a cracked screen and a daughter who refuses to let them take her home. Because in the end, the house always wins when love lives inside it. The end.